Hello and welcome to today's chapter of Road to 50 Million. Today is a fun question, and the question is, are you having fun? I don't know. Do you know a lot of people that are going through life and they don't seem to be having much fun day to day? Are you like that? Do you ever stop and wonder why you're not having fun? I know people define fun in all kinds of different ways, and the first thing that came to my mind isn't sort of raucous party, laugh out loud, noisy fun, but just, are you enjoying your life? That's a important question because you only get one. And if life is long periods of just getting by and then periods of real struggle with a few bright spots, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun to me. It doesn't sound enjoyable to me. So why would you settle for that? And when I say why would you settle for that, you might get mad and you might think, I didn't ask for this. Well, like we've talked about in several other videos, we didn't ask for a lot of stuff. Last winter was really cold up here in Edmonton. Started early and lasted long. I didn't ask for that. When I lived in Phoenix, summers were really hot. It started in April and went to November, it seemed like to me. I didn't ask for that either. So, and I'm using weather, and I'm using that because it's a fairly benign example, but there are lots of things going on, in your life that I'm sure you didn't ask for. If you wrote the menu out and the plan for what you were going to have, they weren't on the list. They weren't on the offering. They weren't even in the second tier or the runner-up category. So you may be appalled at the question, are you having fun or are you enjoying your life? Well, I want to say right now, and this is as a possibility, that no matter what the external circumstances, you can have fun or you can enjoy your life. Now that might seem difficult, but let's talk about how. If you wake up and it's raining, you can decide if that is upsetting, if it's neutral, it just is, or you can decide that if it's exciting. When I lived in Phoenix, when Joy and I were there for many years, I loved waking up to cloudy, rainy days because there were so few, right? Phoenix, the sun shines, I think the number is 330 days a year. Well, that's 90% of the time, right? So cloudy, rainy days were few and far between, and they were wonderful. I loved them. That was a choice. You can decide how you feel about the weather. Now, that's sort of obvious. Duh, Kellan. You can also decide how you feel about anything you want. So I had the opportunity today to go to a fun concert. And the concert was at Veronica's school, and Veronica's our 8-year-old Ukrainian gal. She's just finishing up second grade or third grade, I can't remember. But it was the second and third graders that were performing today. It was a talent show. And there were dozens of acts, some of them as short as 30 seconds. Someone played a Fidelise, Beethoven's thing on the piano and got as far as da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That was it. And some of them were quite accomplished. There were some piano players that were quite good, and the music was pretty, and for their age, very difficult. And there were others that were, either not rehearsed or just up there for fun. And you know what I found fun? There was a person that did stand-up comedy, and there was another group of 4 that did a skit, all kinds of stuff. Now, as a dutiful parent, and Joy and I are surrogate parents a little bit right now because Nadia, her mom's got a full-time job, and so she couldn't go today. But you can go feeling like, okay, this is a chore. I need to go and do this to support my kid. Oh, and then, be worried about what time it is and fussing that it's taken too long and how'd they let that person up on stage and that sort of thing. And there's some people that do that. and you see them nervously fidgeting toward the exit, and, it just feels like that body language. Nobody was wearing a sign, I hate being here, but... And then there's another way to go there, and that is just to enjoy the spontaneous creativity of each kid. Enjoy the courage that each kid, or sometimes there were two, and 3 or 4 of them, there were 4 kids, together doing something. Enjoy the courage and the creativity. One group of 4 did the We Don't Talk About Bruno song from Encanto. That was nice. It was not on key at all, but it was fun and energetic. And some of them were well-rehearsed and really good. So I made a choice to go and enjoy it, have fun. I found myself, getting involved and clapping and getting excited about the spectacle that I was witnessing because of what it meant to the kids. And I was also looking at the other parents that were there, and sometimes you could tell when a particular, who the parents were of a particular performer because, out would come the phones and the video would go on and you could see them recording, and it was fun to see and endearing. So that's another example where you can choose to have it be powerful and good or not. So the question, are you having fun or are you enjoying your life, is real. It's not rhetorical. And it doesn't depend on your external circumstances. I want you to think about that as I make that claim boldly and unapologetically. And I make it in the face of knowing that there are terrible circumstances, difficult things going on in the world, and they do not force a person to be miserable, grumpy, unhappy, or anything. And an example of that you've probably heard is during World War II in concentration camps. There were some prisoners who lived in the victimhood of the total injustice that was heaped upon them. And there were others in the same camps that spent their effort and energy going around singing and lifting the hearts and of other prisoners and offering encouragement and everything else. What on earth made the difference? Those that did that made a huge difference. They were angels, bringing a ray of light into a horrifying situation. The difference was a choice. The difference was each person who did that said, well, this is who I choose to be because I can, because I said so. So I want you to, if you're willing, to play with me here. Think about this day that has just passed. If you see this today, I'm making this video a little later in the day than I usually do. Oh, excuse me, I'm yawning, I guess. A little later in the day than I usually do. But I want you to go through the day. If you see it today or if you see it tomorrow, go through your day and ask yourself, have I really enjoyed today? And be honest about the feelings. Think about the things. How many of them were just kind of neutral and passé? How many of them were distasteful and obligations? And how many of the things did you truly enjoy? The answer I find to that is actually quite important. Because mostly when I ask people that kind of question, they think and they pick 1 or 2 things during the day that they enjoyed, and the rest is kind of a blur. And maybe there were 1 or 2 negative things. Since we get to choose, why would we do that? Why wouldn't we want? Because if you choose to be happy, like I chose to be excited during the concert and get involved in all the numbers, even though some of them were way more prepared than others, what that choice gave me is a smile. It gave me a collection of neurotransmitters that felt yummy, and I was just sort of popping around and clapping, sometimes up in the air, and just kind of involved in the whole thing. So I chose that, and it gave me that kind of wonderful experience. I could have sat there like a bump on a log and had a nothing experience. That was by choice. So as you go through your day, whatever day you see this, I invite you to go through every experience, every conversation that you can remember, and ask yourself, did I enjoy that? And be honest, like there's no judgment. your habits are whatever they are, right? And the contents of those events or conversations were what they were. But then ask yourself this: am I happy with the way I'm using my life? If you go through a day and 2 or 3 things are memorable and the rest is a blur, is that how you want to use your life? Because again, you're the sovereign and you get to decide all that. And we abdicate. We let other people and circumstances and the weather and other people's words and actions and behaviors and whatever kind of day they're having influence us and sometimes be determinative of who we're being. And that's really sad because we each have the sovereign right to bring all the joy into the world we want to. So the question, are you having fun or are you enjoying your life? Really enjoying, not tolerating, enjoying your life. So go back through the day and see if you're really enjoying it, and then answer a different question. Who would you need to be to enjoy it? All of it. Now, let's not start with the terrible setbacks. Let's just start with the average things. You're already enjoying the 2 or 3 highlights. Got it. Let's just move to the next set, that big gray area of whatever. What would it take? Who would you need to be to just have fun with that? Pollyanna, a nutcase, unrealistic, looking at life through rose-colored glasses. You know what? You don't need any kind of glasses. Reality. Hardcore, straight-up reality is a beautiful, powerful, educational, wonderful thing, and I claim that boldly. And you're free to disagree, obviously. But I think, my experience is, choosing to be happy no matter what does 3 things for me. First of all, it floods my body with the neurotransmitters of happy, and that feels really good. It feels just wonderful to be flooded with the neurotransmitters of happy, right? Bubbling, happy excitement. The second good thing that it does is it is contagious. People around you know when you're happy, when you're bubbly, oh, what's going on? And I often say, it's the absolute best day of my life. Not always, but often people say, really? What happened? And sometimes I'll say, I got to meet you, or we got to have this conversation. Or sometimes I'll say, well, it's the only one I've got, so of course it's the best one. And right away that sparks a little conversation and that sort of thing. So the first thing, it fills you with happy bugs and happy chemicals. The second thing is you get to fill other people with happy chemicals. Neurotransmitters, excitement, good, because emotions are contagious, right? Misery loves company is a phrase. Happiness is also contagious. So those are 2 really important reasons. And the third one is really powerful and one that's neglected. Well, they're all powerful. The third one is because it reminds you that you are absolutely the creator of your life experience. You're the sovereign. You get to decide. And when we live in a world day after day of abdication, where we let external circumstances and behavior decide for us, we've given up that right to choose. So it makes you feel good, makes others feel good, and it reminds you who's in charge. You are. You are in charge. So that's a real question. Are you happy today? My commitment, and the reason I'm making these videos every day, is to help you choose happy, help you choose productive, help you choose joy. My commitment, as you know, is to help 50 million people rediscover their divine gifts, their natural talents, rediscover those things they're really good at. Connect those divine gifts, natural gifts, with the skills you've developed over the years. And then combine that with your life experience, those events that have taught you important things, that have softened your heart, made you compassionate and loving. When you combine the learned skills or developed skills with your natural gifts and your life experience, you have a powerful voice that is completely unique and able to serve in a way no one else can. My experience is that's the happiest life, to be of love and service using those three elements. I invite you to joy. I invite you to love. My mission is to help 50 million people to discover or rediscover and serve with those natural gifts and their life experience. If I can help you, I'm offering help. Above all things, take care of yourself, love yourself, and choose happy. I'll see you tomorrow on the road to 50 million.